What up everyone, I'm Trey Baird and this is Gossiping Games. Today we're going to be playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the NES, and we're going to be discussing Star Wars fan theories. And man oh man, the internet has just lit up with these in the last year or two, mostly due to the success of Star Wars The Force Awakens, Episode 7. So we're going to be discussing some of these super rad, totally cool fan theories that are floating out there, and I just kind of want to give my thoughts on a few of those. So I have in front of me a page, and I'll put the link in the description box. It's from Digital Spy. It has a nice little collection of Star Wars 8 theories that are floating around, and I think it's a good collection. It has 19 of them. Now, I'm not going to go through 19 fan theories with you right now, but that just kind of gives you an idea of how many of these theories are out there. And the internet is just abuzz with speculation when it comes to where this particular new trilogy is going. So, you have the theory that Rey is Kylo Ren's sister. And the theory basically goes that, Luke was training Ben Solo, Kylo Ren, to be a Jedi at a younger age, or I don't know how long ago it was according to the events in the movie. It might have even been recent. But so as the story goes, Ben gets seduced by the dark side, and he slaughters Luke's Jedi Academy, and this causes Luke to go into isolation. And, you also have the fact that Rey is mysteriously super powerful with the Force. And Kylo Ren has no idea who she is and why she's so powerful, and all of this completely catches everyone off guard. And if you think about it, there's really no precedent for characters being so Force sensitive and powerful with the Force without any kind of training whatsoever. Keep in mind that at this point in the film's canonical mythology, history, and other points as well, that not everyone believes in the Force. And Rey doesn't even completely believe in the Force at first. It takes, oh my gosh, this is not that hard. It takes Han Solo to tell her that it's real for her to completely believe it. The theory is that Kylo Ren and Rey are brothers and sisters, and they were at the Academy together, and Luke did some sort of Jedi mind erasing, Men in Black neuralizing power on all parties involved so that they would forget. Now, my thoughts are this would be a fun little twist, but I really don't see them doing it. Star Wars has a lot of history for taking inspiration from other films, but I don't think they're going to take inspiration from Men in Black like that, if you know what I mean. And it's a fun little M. Night Shyamalan-esque plot twist, but I just don't really see it happening, the way that, it would need to happen in a Star Wars movie. Obviously, this is Star Wars. Everything has to rhyme. It has to be poetic. Oh, man. Okay. So, everything has to rhyme, but, Empire Strikes Back had a big plot twist in it, so of course, The Last Jedi has to have a big plot twist in it as well. Could it be that they're brother and sister? I doubt that that's what it's going to be. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense I mean, I don't see a lot of motive for Luke to do this. And I just don't see it going over very well that these are the only people who would need to have their memories erased in order for the theory to stick, if that makes sense. I feel like there would be more people that would have to be part of this conspiracy. So moving on to another theory, Rey is Luke's daughter. And you know, this is most likely the first one that everyone thought of. And similarly, also just as quickly dismissed because there's not a whole lot to point to it. But you know, I heard the theory that the spot that Luke might be at could be the grave marker of his deceased wife, who would therefore be the mother of Rey. And I suppose it's not completely out of the question, but I don't see that either. You know, I don't think that Luke would have some sort of secret affair just like his father did, even though that would rhyme. And I don't think that there wouldn't be anyone who would be aware of this. I don't think that Luke would have had the capabilities to keep the existence of his offspring a secret like that. Nor would that be in his character to do that. This is the hardest part, in my opinion, going through here. The rest of it is pretty easy. I don't consider this level to really be difficult at all. I don't think I've ever even lost it, even as a kid. Well, I mean, I've never run out of time. I've, you know, lost by getting electrocuted, but, you know, that's not really what I was getting at. I don't think the time is that oppressive, is what I'm saying. So, no, I don't believe that Rey is Luke's daughter. Another theory is that Rey is a Kenobi, that she's Obi-Wan Kenobi's offspring. And, I mean, she certainly does look and act a lot like Obi-Wan. Okay, there's only one bomb left, so I didn't miss any. Getting there with plenty of time. Now we're getting into the realm of theories that I think could be a possibility. And, you know, it sort of becomes... The overall saga starts to become about Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin and their legacies. You know, Anakin's legacy as Darth Vader is Kylo Ren, and Obi-Wan's legacy as Rey, you know, they come together and they battle, light side versus dark side. This is a more plausible theory, but I still don't think that's what it's going to be, because I tend to fall along the idea that the overall story is about you have 3 trilogies, and if they continue the film series, I don't know where they would go from here. But you have 3 film trilogies. One is about the dominance of the light side, the prequel trilogy. One is about the dominance of the dark side, the original trilogy. Then you have this new trilogy, which will be about the dominance of the gray, which, you know, is in between. And it talks about the prophecy of the Force in bringing balance to the Force, where it becomes a more permanent thing, like it used to be. And that seems to be the direction that Disney's going with Star Wars in general, is that not everything is black and white, that there are degrees of gray in there. I think that we're seeing that with Kylo Ren's pull to the light side, which is already a fun little twist on Anakin's character, who was a Jedi, who was a light side user being pulled to the dark. But I think the overall idea that we're going to land on is that extremism on either side of the spectrum is counterproductive and destructive in the long run. Where the true way of the universe, the true way of the Force, is to be balanced, is to be able to use both, and to be in touch with both sides of the spectrum, as opposed to just focusing on one at the expense of the other. So, as I said, we're seeing this with Kylo Ren, and I think we're going to see it with Rey, since reading minds like she does in The Force Awakens is basically a dark side power, just as the Force choke that Luke Skywalker does at the beginning of Return of the Jedi. That's definitely a dark side power, and I think it's cool that, you know, they would incorporate that into their overall story to make it cohesive, because that was a big problem with the way that Lucasfilm was making their Star Wars movies. They were not cohesive. You know, we like the original, well, most of us like the original trilogy as it is. We don't want it to be CG'd up so as to fall into line with the prequels. The technology was there to make the prequels look like they fit into the same universe as the original trilogy, but they don't look like they're related. They look like one set of 3 movies, and they look like a second set of 3 movies. In the prequel trilogy, which ironically takes place before the original trilogy, storyline-wise, they look more advanced. The technology looks better, and it doesn't appear to take place before. So I think that they've done a lot to correct that with the with the Force Awakens. It really does look, storyline-wise, like it takes place after Return of the Jedi. It doesn't look like a return to the, you know, CG glamour fest that was the prequel trilogy. And I don't have a blanket hatred for the prequel trilogy. I think they were a misfire, but, you know, a missed opportunity. But I don't think that they're like the worst things ever either.